What is the reason? Love? Aye, but that was long ago. Who is the object of your young affections?
Hush, Mother, he's here.
Our Reverend Vicar?
Oh, pity me, for my heart is almost broken.
My child, be comforted. To such a union I shall have no opposition. Take him, he's yours. May you and he be happy.
But Mother, he's not yours to give.
That's true indeed.
He might object.
He might, but come, take heart. I'll probe him on the subject. Be comforted. Leave this affair to me. Good day, Reverend Sir.
Ah, good Mrs. Bartlett. I am so glad to see you. And your little daughter Constance. Why, she is quite a little lady, I declare.
Oh, Mother, can I speak to him?
Yes, sir, she is nearly 18 and as good a girl as ever stepped. Ah, sir, but I'm afraid I shall soon lose her.
Dear me, you pain me very much. Is she delicate?
Oh, no, sir, I don't mean that. But young girls look to get married.
Take you to be sure. There's plenty of time for that. 4 or 5 yards hence, Mrs. Bartlett. 4 or 5 yards hence. But when the time does come, I shall have great pleasure in marrying her myself.
Oh, Mother.
To some strapping young fellow in her own rank of life.
He does not love me.
I have often wondered, sir, if you will excuse the liberty, that you have never married.
Be still, my fluttering heart.
A clergyman's wife does so much good in a village. Besides that, you're not as young as you were, and before very long you'll want somebody to nurse you, look after your little comforts.
Mrs. Bartlett, there is much truth in what you say. I am indeed getting on in years, and a helpmate would chart my declining days. Time was when it might have been, but I have left it too late. I am an old fogey now, am I not, my dear? A very old fogey indeed. No, Mrs. Bartlett, my mind is quite made up. I shall live and die a solitary old bachelor.
Come on, child, don't fret. At a more fitting time we will try again. We will try again.
Poor little child. I'm afraid she has something on her mind. She is rather comely. Time was when this old heart would have throbbed in double time at the sight of such a fairy form. Tush, I am furious. Arms, good Alexis and his proud and happy father. Let me try this telltale chart. Marmaduke, my dear friend Alexis, on this most happy, most auspicious plighting, permit me as a true old friend to tender my best, my very best congratulations. Sir, you are most obliging. Dr. Davy, my dear old tutor, and my valued pastor, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yea, fortune, bless you. May the middle distance all young life be pleasant as the foreground. Join us foreground. And when you have reached it, may that which now is the far off horizon, but which will then become the middle distance, in full promise be exceeded only by that which in the meantime will have opened into a new and glorious horizon.
My dear son, that is an excellent example of an old
cool, stately compliment to which I, throughout life, have been much addicted. Pray, would you oblige me with a copy of it in the best clerkly manuscript, that I myself may use it on appropriate occasion? Oh dear. Sir, you shall have a fairly written copy. Her soul has sunk into its western slumbers. Come, come, my son. Your fiancée will be here in 5 minutes. Rouse yourself to receive her.
Oh, rapture.
Yes, you are indeed a very fortunate young fellow. And I will not disguise from you that this union with the house of Saint-Beaujour realizes my fondest wishes. Eileen is rich and comes of a sufficiently old family, for she is 7,037 in direct descent from Helen of Troy. True, there was a blot on the escutcheon of that young lady, that affair with Paris, you know. But where is there a family other than mine own, which is without flaw? You are a lucky fellow, sir. A very lucky fellow.
Father, I am welling over with limpid joy. No sickly intaint of sorrow overlies the lucid lake of liquid love, upon which, hand in hand, Eileen and I are to float into eternity.
Alexis, I desire that of your love for this young lady you do not speak so openly. You are always singing ballads in praise of her beauty. Why, you even expect the very menials who wait behind your chair to chorus your ecstasies. It is not delicate.
Father, a man who loves as I love.
Pooh, sir. 30 years ago, I madly loved your future mother-in-law, the Lady Saint-Beaujour. And I have reason to believe that that love was returned. But were we guilty of the public indelicacy of rushing into each other's arms, exclaiming, "Oh, my adored one, beloved boy, ecstatic rapture, unmingled joy," which appears to be the modern fashion of lovemaking. No, it was Adam. I trust you are in the enjoyment of good health. So, you are vastly polite, I protest. I am mighty well. And so forth, much more delicate, much more respectful. Oh, but come now. Eileen approaches. Let us retire, that she may compose herself for that interesting ceremony in which she is to take so important a part.
promised me a quick fulfillment.
Welcome joy, adieu to sadness, as aurora gilds the day. So those eyes, twin orbs of gladness, chase the clouds of care away. Irresistible incentive, bid me humbly kiss your hand. Hide yourself, most attentive, most attentive. While with adoration, madness, desolation, we dodge my limitation, no occasion to unmiss. Go devoted to distraction, then maddening in action. I find some satisfaction in a pursuit like this. Vanquish all divine. Welcome home, my father. Angel, oh, be mine. Immortal, divine. Angel, oh, be mine. Humbly kiss your hand. I'm your servant, most attentive, most
Sir, I thank you most politely for your graceful courtesy. Compliments more truly knightly never yet were made to me. Chivalry is an ingredient sadly lacking in our land. Sir, I am your most obedient, most rapid fascination, to indulge my lamentation, no occasion do I miss. Yielding to distraction, I'm maddening in action, I find some satisfaction in apostrophe like this. Marmaduke immortal, Marmaduke divine, take me to thy portal, loved one, oh be mine. Immortal, divine, loved one, oh be mine.
Adoration to indulge my lamentation on occasion like this. I'm your servant, most what adoration is the like fascination to indulge my lamentation on occasion like this. You're most obedient to
The contract has come as agreed.
All is prepared for sealing and for signing. The contract has been drafted as agreed.
Approach the table, O ye lovers pining, with hand and seal, come execute the deed.
Approach the table, holy lovers pining, with hand and seal, come execute the deed.
I deliver it, as my act and deed.
I deliver it, as my act and deed.
See they sign without a quiver, it's them to still proceed. They deliver it, as their act and deed. They deliver it, as their act and deed. We come and rejoice, let us welcome this angel to the day of his birth.
betrothed to me. Are you not very, very happy?
Oh, Alexis, can you doubt it? Do I not love you beyond all on earth? And am I not beloved in return? Is not true love faithfully given and faithfully returned the source of every earthly joy?
Of that there can be no doubt. All that the world could be persuaded of the truth of that maxim. All that the world would break down the artificial barriers of rank, wealth, education, age, beauty, habit, taste, and temper, and recognize the glorious principle that in marriage alone is to be found the panacea for every ill.
Continue to preach that sweet doctrine, and you will succeed. O evangel of true happiness!
I hope so. But as yet the cause progresses but slowly. Still, I have made some converts to the principle that men and women should be coupled in matrimony without distinction of rank. I have lectured on the subject at mechanics institutes, and the mechanics were unanimous in favor of my views. I have preached in workhouses, beer shops, and lunatic asylums, and I've been received with enthusiasm. I've addressed navvies on the advantages that would accrue to them if they married wealthy ladies of rank. Not a navvy dissented.
Noble fellows! And yet there are those who hold that the uneducated classes are not open to argument. And what do the countesses say?
Why, at present, it can't be denied the aristocracy hold aloof.
Aha! The working man is the true intelligence after all.
He is a noble creature, when he is quite sober. Yes, Helene, true happiness comes of true love. And true love should be independent of external influences. It should live upon itself and by itself. In itself, love should live for love alone.
Love feeds on many kinds of food, I know. Some love for right and some for duty. Some give their hearts away for empty show, and others love for youth and beauty. For love for money, all the world is full. Some love themselves and live alone. Give me a love that loves for love alone. I love it only. I love it only. Give me the love that loves for love alone. I love that love. I love it only. What man for many other joy can thirst, whose loving wife adores him newly? Want, misery, and care may work their worst, if loving woman loves you truly. A lover's thoughts are ever with his own, and truly love is ever lonely. Give me that love that loves for love alone. I love it only. I love
desperate steps in support of them. Have you ever heard of the firm of J.W. Wells & Co., the old established family sorcerer in St. Mary Axe?
I have seen their advertisements.
They have invented a filter, which, if reports may be believed, is simply infallible. I intend to distribute it through the village, and within half an hour of my doing so, there will not be an adult in the place who will not have learnt the secret of pure and lasting happiness. What do you say to that?
Well, of course, dear, a filter is a very useful thing to have in a house. But still, I don't quite see that it's the sort of thing that places its possessor on the very pinnacle of earthly joy.
Aline, you misunderstand me. I didn't say a filter. I said a filter.
You don't mean a love potion?
On the contrary, I do mean a love potion.
Oh, Alex, I don't think it would be right. I don't indeed. Real magicians. Oh, it would be downright wicked.
Aline, is it or is it not a laudable object to steep the whole village up to its lips in love, and to couple them in matrimony without distinction of age, rank, or fortune?
Unquestionably.
Then, unpleasant as it must be to have recourse to supernatural aid, I must nevertheless pocket my aversion in deference to the great and good end I have in view. Hercules! Hercules!
You rang, sir?
Is Mr. Wells there?
In the summer house, sir. Refreshing.
Ask him to be so good as to step this way.
Yes, sir.
But Alexis, a real sorcerer? I should be frightened to death.
I trust my Aline will not yield to fear, while the strong right arm of her Alexis is here to protect her.
It's nonsense, dear, to talk of your protecting me with your strong right arm. In face of the fact that this doubly sorcerer could change me into a guinea pig before you could turn around.
He could change you into a guinea pig, no doubt. But it is most unlikely that he would take such a liberty. It's a most respectable firm, and I'm sure he would never be guilty of so untradesmanlike an act.
Good day, sir.
Good day. I believe you're a sorcerer.
Yes, sir. We practice necromancy in all its branches, with a choice assortment of wishing caps, divining rods, amulets, charms, and counter charms. And we cash a nativity at a very low figure, and we have an horoscope at 3 and 6 that we can guarantee. Out of Buddha chests, each containing a patent hag who comes out and prophesies disasters, with spring complete, is strongly recommended. Our Aladdin's lamps are very chaste, and our prophetic tablets, for telling everything to a changing ministry, down to a rising unified, are much inquired for. Our penny curse, one of the cheapest things in the trade, is considered infallible. We have some very superior blessings too, but they're very little asked for. We've only sold one since Christmas, to a gentleman who bought it to send it to his mother-in-law, but it turned out that he was afflicted in the head, and we've had it returned on our hands. But our sale of penny curses, especially on a Saturday night, is tremendous. We can't turn them out fast enough. My name is John Wellington Wells. I'm a dealer in magic and spells, in blessings and curses, and never fill purses in publishers, riches and bells. And if anyone anything lacks, to melt a jig on in wax, you've got to look in on the resident gin number 70 silvery axe, with a first class assault of magic, and blazing a blast of a shade, with a face of comic or tragic. There's no cheaper house in the trade. Left out to be quantities of it, and for knowledge if anyone learns, we're keeping a very small profit upon it who brings us amount of returns. For you can prophesy with a wink of his eye, give you security to fragility, sum up your history, clear up a mystery, if you want nativity, Be honest, oracular, very spectacular, tetrapod, tragical, mirrors, so magical, thrice astronomical, solemn or comical, and if you want to make a reduction on top of the birthday. If anyone anything lacks, he'll find Toranian snacks. You've got to look in on the list and check out the 70 serials. We can raise your hosts of ghosts vanity, full of satiety, fetish humanity with an inanity, festival to vanity, trying the foes of the virgin in Combined tautology, demonology, electrobiology, synosology, spirit philology, high class astrology, subsidies, knowledge, my name is John Wellington Wells. I'm into the magic and spells. In verses and curses and never fill verses in promises, riches and bells. And if anyone anything lacks, he'll find all in stacks. If you want to look on a lesson, you'll have a 70 silver racks.
I have sent for you to consult you on a very important matter. I believe you advertise a patent oxyhydrogen love at first sight filter.
Yes, sir, it's our leading article.
Now, I want to know if you can confidently guarantee it as possessing all the qualities you claim for it in your advertisement.
Sir, we are not in the habit of puffing our goods. Ours is an old established house with strong family connections, and every assurance held out in the advertisement is fully realised.
Well, Alexis, don't offend him. He'll change us into something dreadful, I know he will.
Now, I am anxious from purely philanthropical motives to distribute this filter secretly amongst the inhabitants of this village. I shall, of course, require a quantity. How do you sell it?
In taking a quantity, sir, we strongly advise you buying it in the wood and drawing it off as you happen to want it. We have it in 4.5 and 9-gallon casks, also in pipes and hogsheads for laying down, and we deduct 10% for prompt cash.
I should mention I'm a member of the Office of Fair Trading.
In that case, we deduct 25%.
Aline, the villagers will assemble to carouse in a few minutes. Go and fetch the teapot.
But Alexis...
My dear, you must obey me. Go and fetch the teapot.
I'm sure Dr. Daly would disapprove of it.
And how soon does it take effect?
In 12 hours. Whoever drinks of it loses consciousness for a period, and on awakening falls in love with the first lady he's happened to have met, who has also tasted it, and his affections are at once returned. One trial will prove the fact.
Good. Then, Mr. Wells, I shall be obliged if you will pour enough filter into this teapot as will suffice to affect the whole village.
But Alexis, many of the villagers are married people.
Madam, this filter is compounded on the strictest principles. On married people it has no effect whatever. But are you sure you have the nerve to carry you through this fearful ordeal?
In the good cause, I fear nothing.
Very good. Then we will proceed at once to the incantation. Sprites of earth and air, winds of flame and fire, demon souls from here in shows your dreadful need inspire. Up here, up here, up here. Noisome acts of night, imps of deadly shade, and ghosts arise in ghosts and let me all your pain. Up here, up here, up here. With poisoned bags discharge your loads. With flame and fire unholy choir belch forth your venom toll. Demons fell with yelp and yell shed curses far afield. Ye fiends of night in filthy blight, in noisome plenty. Number one.
It is done.
Number two.
Point of view.
Number three.
But enjoy yourselves, I pray. Eat, and drink, be merry, I'm glory. For once let thoughtless folly rule the day. Eat, drink, and be gay, banish all worry and sorrow. Laugh gaily today. Pass the cup around. I will go there for the liquor. It's strong and be hard, for it was brewed by the vicar. It's strong and be hard, for it was brewed by the vicar. That's the way to see, that's the way to
their hearts will melt in lava, then will be felt the potion love, then will be felt the potion love, the potion love.
Pain and trouble and care, misery, heartache and worry, weak out of your lair, into the honey, the honey, toil, sorrow and want, lie awake quicker and quicker. Reach home to the hot, that is the bloom of your vicar. Reach home to the hot, that is the bloom of your vicar.
Marvelous illusion, no terror, no surprise. What is the strange confusion that fills my aching eyes? A marvelous illusion, a terrible surprise, excites the strange confusion within their aching eyes. They investigate my senses, restoring reason's law. Oh, fearful inferences, the company will draw. Oh, fearful inferences, the company will draw.
And as this mistaker, the magic drink should manifest its power. Oh, slumbering ghost, our little star, our little star, when the violet forms each each but stay, my father is not here. And pray, where is my mother dear?
I did not think it meet to see a dame of lengthy pedigree, a baronet to kiss me, a doctor of divinity, and that respected witness, or fast asleep after school. And so I've had them carried home and put to bed respectively. And put to bed respectively. I trust my conduct meets your approbation.
Sir, you acted with discrimination and showed more delicate appreciation than we expect in persons of your station.
Yes,
It showed more delicate appreciation than we expect
in persons of your station.
But soft they waken one by one. The spell has worked, the deed is done. I would suggest that we retire while love the housemaid lights her little fire.
While love the housemaid
Lights her kitchen
fire. Just where the June arrives.
Why, that's the very way you're helped to ruin, and don't seem quite respectable likewise.
Hey, that's you. Only think of that now.
What will you react now? Tell me, do.
What a nose, and the whiteness, lips like a rose, and cheeks like whiteness.
I tell you true, which I've never done, sir. I like you, as I never liked none, sir.
Hey, but I do like you.
I am a very deaf old man, and hear you very badly.
You very devil, and she doesn't badly.
I know not why I love him
but for the rest, I did not hear it clearly.
You very well know that you got that
Oh joy, the charm works well, and all our night,
But we are wiser, far wiser than the world. Observe the good that will become of these ill-assorted unions. The miserly wife will check the reckless expenditure of her too frivolous consort. The wealthy husband will shower innumerable bonnets on his penniless bride. And the young and lively spouse will cheer the declining days of her aged partner with comic songs unceasing.
What a delightful prospect for him.
But one thing remains to be done, that my happiness may be complete. We must drink the philtre ourselves, so that I may be assured of your love forever and ever.
Oh, Alexis, do you doubt me? Is it necessary that such love as ours should be secured by artificial means? Oh, no! No, no!
My dear Aline, time works terrible changes, and I want to place a love beyond the chance of change.
But it is already far beyond that chance. Have faith in me, for my love can never change.
Then you absolutely refuse?
I do. If you cannot trust me, you have no right to love me. No right to be loved by me.
Enough, Aline. I shall know how to interpret this refusal.
I wanted love to sanctify all God's love, despite the garden shade, to make that love of mine so sure that from God's grave it must endure till time itself shall
and thine alone, to place me on so proud a throne, that kings might envy me. For Christ has borne of love and truth, more glad than honest birth and gold. But no, thou wouldst be free. Such love is like a ray that dies within a day. If such I love shame, write my own name. Such love is like a ray that dies within a day. If such I love shame, it is not love. It is not love.
It is singular. It is very singular. It has overthrown all my calculations. It is directly opposed to the doctrine of averages. I cannot understand it.
Dear Dr. Daly, what has puzzled you?
My dear, this village has not hitherto been addicted to marrying and giving in marriage. Hitherto, the youths of this village have not been enterprising, and the maidens have been distinctly quiet. Judge then of my surprise when I tell you that the whole village came to me in a body just now and implored me to join them in matrimony with as little delay as possible. Even your excellent father has hinted to me that before very long it is not unlikely that he also might change his condition.
Oh, Alexis, did you hear that? Are you not delighted?
Yes, I confess that a union between your mother and my father would be a happy circumstance indeed. My dear sir, the news you bring us is very gratifying.
Yes. Still, in my eyes, it has its melancholy side. This universal marrying recalls the happy days, now alas gone forever, when I myself might have, but tush, I am puling. I am too old to marry. And yet, within the last half hour, I have greatly yearned for companionship. I never remarked it before, but young ladies of this village are very comely. So likewise are the middle-aged and the elderly. All are comely, and all are engaged.
Depend your butler.
Mrs. Bartlett!
Doctor, dearly give me joy. Alexis, my dear boy, you will, I am sure, be pleased to hear that my declining days are not unlikely to be solaced by the companionship of this good and virtuous and amiable woman.
Father, this is not altogether what I expected. I am certainly taken somewhat by surprise. Still, it need hardly be necessary for me to assure you that any wife of yours is a mother of mine? This is not exactly what I could have wished.
Oh, sir, I entreat your forgiveness. I am aware that socially I am not everything that could be desired, nor am I blessed with an abundance of worldly goods. But I can at least confer on your estimable father the great and priceless dowry of a true, tender, and loving heart.
I do not question it. After all, a faithful love is a true source of every earthly joy.
I knew that my son would not blame his poor old father for acting on the impulse of a heart which has never yet let him down. So
is not what the world calls a beautiful. Still, she is comely, distinctly comely.
Laura is very good, and very clean and honest, and quite sober in her habits. That is worth far more than beauty, dear Sir Marmaduke.
Yes, beauty will fade and perish, but personal cleanliness is practically undying. Or it can be renewed whenever it discovers symptoms of decay. My dear Sir Marmaduke, I heartily congratulate you.
I rejoice that is decided, happy now will be my life, for my father is provided with a kind and tender wife. She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years.
Happy thoughtless maiden, full of graces, bells and cheers, but a sober widow laden with the weight of 50 years.
No high-born exacting beauty, blazing like a jeweled sun, but a wife will do her duty as that duty should be done. She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his ears.
I know Susie, Biggs and Giddy, houses such as them abound, but a clean and tidy widdy will be known for miles around.
All the village now have mated, and are happy as can be. I to live alone and fated, one left to marry me.
No one left to marry him.
She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years. Such a
J.W. Wells, what wrong have they done you? But see, another lovelorn lady comes, alas, awe-stricken dame. Her gentle pensiveness her life benumbs, and mine alone the blame.
Alas, on me, how well a day, I sigh for love as well I may, for I am very old and grey. But still, what is this fairy form I see before me?
Oh, horrible, she's going to adore me. This last catastrophe is overpowering.
Why'd you gaze at me with visage lowering? For pity's sake, recoil not thus from me.
my lady, leave me. This may never be. Hate me, drop my H's out through life.
Oh, love me, I'll drop them too.
Hate me, I always eat peas with a knife.
Oh, love me, I eat like you.
Hate me, I often roll down Poetry Hill.
Oh, love me, I'll meet you there.
Hate me, I sometimes go to Pentonville.
Love me, that joy I'll share. Love me, my prejudices are forever dropped.
Hate me, that's not enough.
Love me, I'll come and help you in the shop.
Hate me, the life is rough.
Love me, my grammar I long to swear.
Hate me, abjure my loves.
Love me, I'll stick sunflowers in my hair.
Hate me, they'll suit you not. But what I'm going to say, be not enraged. I may not love you, for I am engaged. Engaged to a maiden fair with bright brown hair and a sweet and simple smile, who waits for me by the sounding sea on the South Pacific. A lie, no maiden waits me there. A lie, no maiden smiles on me.
Oh, agony, rage, despair, the pain in this bright brown hair, and mine is as white as snow. False married to me, you're falling, I go to my family vault, bury my life long ago.
Oh, agony, rage, despair, oh, where will it end? I should very much like to know. It will certainly be my fault if she goes to a family vault to bury her life long ago. It will certainly be my fault if she goes to a family vault.
The family vault, the family vault, the family vault, the family vault.
The family vault, the family vault, the family vault, the family vault. Yes, the family vault.
Oh, my voice is sad and low, and with him each day I go. Oh, with load of love laden, I inquire of every maiden, will you wed me, little lady? Will you share my cottage shady? Little lady answers no, no. Thank you for your kindly proffer, good your heart and all your proffer, yet I must decline your offer. I'm engaged to so-and-so. So-and-so. I'm engaged to so-and-so. What arrogant hearts to pillage, what a worker on love's tillage. Every maiden in the village is engaged to so-and-so. So-and-so. All engaged to so-and-so. most unhappily, met me instead. As you had administered the potion to both of us, the result was inevitable. But nothing from me, I shall be no man's rival. I shall quit the country at once and bury my sorrow in the congenial gloom of a colonial bishopric.
My excellent old friend. Oh, Mr. Wells. Mr. Wells, what's to be done?
I don't know, and yet there is one means by which this spell may be removed.
Name it.
Either you or I must yield up his life to Arimanes. Now, I'd rather it were you. I should have no hesitation in sacrificing my life to save yours, but we take stock next week and it wouldn't be fair on the company.
True. Well, I'm ready.
No! No, Alexis, it must not be. Mr. Wells, he must die that all may be restored to their old loves. Then what is to become of me? I should be left out in the cold with no love to be restored to.
True. I never thought of that. Well, my friends, I appeal to you, and I leave the decision in your hands. For he or I must die. Which shall it be? Reply.
I vow yield now to this decree unbending. I vow, I vow, I vow.
So be it, I submit, my fate be sealed to popular opinion, thus I yield. Lead me to my despair, I go, it matters not with whom or where.
Oh, my Lord one, ecstatic rapture, come to my mansion, all of you. At least we'll crown our rapture with another feast. Now for the mustard and cress, now for the strawberry jam, now for the tea of the horse, now for the rollicking bun, now for the muffin and toast, and now for the gay Sunday land, now for the muffin and toast, and now for the gay Sunday land. Yes, and now for the strawberry jam,